Hello and happy Sunday to everyone. I wanted to take a moment to just create a little video or tutorial that will help hopefully answer and clarify some confusion or questions about FuelEd and how to navigate it. So I'm going to take you through biology's page, and of course other contents may be a little different and structured a little differently, but the platform should be the same. So let me go ahead and kind of break it down so that way we can all hopefully be in a better position to support our students. So right here, what I'd like to start off with is showing you the landing page for each content, excuse me. And so I really just want to point out that I am looking at this through the lens of a student, and so it really is only going to be particular to biology and what this teacher-student view can access. So it may look a little different on your end. But in general, I want to point out some specific things like this, what we call a toolbar or a ribbon. Really depends on what you like to call it. But we're going to come back to these and I'll kind of walk you through what each one has to offer and how you can use it best. To begin, let's take a look at this box right here. So right here is where you're going to find all of the links that will take you directly to any Class Connect session. So any help sessions, any small groups, any whole groups, any lessons there are where there's going to be a live interaction with a teacher is going to be located right here. And so you can take a look at what you have for the day, and this should be true for all of the content landing pages. So no matter which content you're in, whether it's English, language arts, or mathematics, they should show up to the links that you've been invited to. If you're taking a look at a week's view of all of the live sessions that you're going to be invited to, then I would encourage you to click on that Go to Class Connect link. It's going to open up this tab and it's going to give you an opportunity to take a look at that day. So for example, today is Sunday, October 4th. It is, there are no live Connect sessions, but if I click on the next day, it tells me all of my sessions. So remember, this is the perspective from the teacher. What you should see here are the live or the Class Connect sessions that will be available to your student. If you want, you can even click a weekly view and they are going to have it scheduled so that you have all of the weeks organized by day and the sessions that will be made available to them. You can click on these arrows to move through the week. So this singular arrow is go ahead one day. This double arrow is going to signify 1 week from that day. So this is just a great tool if you're trying to organize or create a week schedule around these live sessions, then this is a really great resource and a place to look. So let's go back to our landing page. So yes, so that is for Class Connect, where we get access to Neuro, which is the alternative to Zoom that we use here in FuelEd. I'd also like to highlight this area right here where there's any class announcements. They do go in order from most recent to oldest, so keeping that in mind, as well as checking this page. And for biology, I would recommend twice a day just to see if there is any new information that I am providing for you. I would check once in the morning and check once in the afternoon. I will do my best to email as well, but this is really the best place that I can put information where I hope everyone will see it, since you must go to this page in order to access the biology assignments and the biology content. So this is a really great source and place to reiterate any information. And again, for example, if you haven't signed up for a small group, making sure that you do. Now, the next thing I'd like to show you is this over here in the left top corner. Right here, what you're going to find is any sort of reminder or something that you must view. So for example, these unread discussions, part of your discussion assignment is to respond to 3 other of your peers' comments. And so this is a great way for you to be reminded of that you need to read those discussion posts and submit your responses. In addition, on this left page right here is a quick overview of some of the assignments that are due that day and a couple of days in advance. Now remember that this is only for biology, so I would expect that you would have only biology up here, but as you can see, it tells me what's going to be due tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, and it even goes as far as Thursday and Friday, and you can click this show more if you'd like. Now, If you would like, let's go up to our toolbar so I can go ahead and show you some other aspects that FuelEd can provide. So similar to what I was saying about this on the left hand side, if you click on this plan button, it's going to bring you to a page that's really great when it comes to pacing or looking ahead. And what that means is that if you click on the month view in particular, it's going to start to generate a list of assignments that are due for every day. And so, like I said, this is specifically for biology. I understand that for the student perspective, it really shows all of the assignments for all 3 classes or 4 classes that they're taking this quarter. And the great thing about this is it really allows you to plan. So for example, you know that online program is really, really flexible. It's really what goes with your schedule. So if you know you're going to be on vacation from the 19th to the 23rd and you see all of this work, you can start to take those assignments and either add them to the week previously or add them to the week after to keep you updated, but allow you to manage it on your time and your availability. So another quick thing to talk about is that you can hover over each assignment, and that is going to give you a quick snapshot. It kind of shows up there in gray about what that's going to be. So let's take a look at lesson 218 that students should be completing by tomorrow if they're staying with the pacing guide. So if I click on it, it's going to show me a little bit more detail, and if I click on this more button, it's going to take me directly to that assignment. And from my understanding, that should be true for any class. So even if you're in this plan button under the biology page, if you click on one of your English language arts assignments, it should take you directly to it, which is really great if you're just kind of working through those assignments every day. You also have the opportunity to look at this from a daily viewpoint, so kind of taking a look at everything that's going to be due, and then taking a look at, you can even look at it from a week's perspective, month, you can put it into a list, really whatever works for you. But that's a very handy spot to take a look at the pacing guide, because remember that you do not get marked down for anything that gets turned in late. Those due dates are really just a way for students to stay on pace so that at the end of the quarter, they're not getting overwhelmed with a bunch of lessons, right? These we should be working about an hour and a half to 2 hours every day on each class. So at least for biology, I know that these 2 to 3 assignments should be on average what you see every day. If we go back up to our toolbar, I'd also like to point out this content bar. If you click on content, it really is a great way to look at what assignments should be done and what is ahead. So if we take a look right here, I want to point out this left bar because this is really a way that you're going to navigate around the content. So if you scroll through, you're going to see that the units are broken down into the lessons that is viewable for the student. And I have made all of the units available for the entire quarter. The only exception is I do have a couple of lessons that I've hidden just because we're not going to get to them. And we are going to focus on some of the lessons that are going to bring us more practice with the material and the concepts. One thing that I'd like to bring and point out are these numbers. I've been getting several questions from parents about what these numbers represent, and I'd like to kind of tell you how we can use that and what it really means. So if we take a look at this 30 next to where it says to the chemistry of life, and this is really the overall view of the unit. This number represents how many topics or tasks are left in that unit. So for example, if I take a look at the carbon life, it breaks it down to 2 tasks. And if we click on that, we start to see that there is 1 learn and 1 assessment. So if I go ahead and I look at 203, I'm going to see that I already did one of the explores, that I just need to do the lesson introduction next. And as soon as I click on that, it says that this topic has been viewed, and then a check mark will appear, meaning that I have completed everything for the learn phase, and that I only have 1 thing remaining for this lesson, and that is the assessment. And if you take a look, this number also has gone down. So this is a really great way to motivate students to continue work, especially if you are task-oriented or a to-do list person, which I am. So I know for me, checking boxes and crossing things out and seeing big numbers going down to small numbers is a really great way to motivate me to continue doing the work. So I would really utilize that as a way to kind of keep you up to date as to where you are, how much you have left, and that satisfaction that you get when you complete something that you're closer to the goal. Similarly, there is a progress bar at the top of each lesson that kind of tells you where you're at. So as you can see, there are 3 required topics to complete in lesson 203, and I have completed 2 of those, which show me up here, meaning that I have 1 required topic left, which is the assessment to be taking. Now, the same is true if I were to look at the overview of the unit. It tells me specifically how far I am in the unit, breaking it down to the number of required topics, and that required topics again correlate to this number right here. Okay, and then the great thing is if we move over to the next section on the toolbar, which is progress, you'll start to see that you can see an entire overview of the entire quarter's work right here. Now, of course, it's not available for me because I'm in it as a teacher viewing as a student. So this isn't going to be available to me, but should be available for your student. And that's a great way to kind of see where they are in terms of the class overall in their material. Another great thing that FuelEd provides is the grades. A lot of this is going to give immediate feedback, except for those assessments that need to be turned in, and that is going to be graded by the teacher. So that's always going to take a little bit longer. But this is a quick view of looking at everything that's assessed, so either a quiz or a test or a discussion or an assessment of any kind can be found right here, and is a very quick way by looking right here at the right to see the grade that was earned, and the grade is also color-coded for those visual learners. Now, I mentioned about submissions and submitting quizzes and tests that teachers are going to grade. I'd like to go back for just a moment to kind of show you where that is. I know that I had several students that were just having a little bit of difficulty in sending things to me. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can submit something that is going to be graded by the teacher. So for example, this little icon here represents that you're going to submit it. So if I click on the task, which in this case is the second part of the mid-unit test, then you can start to see here that this link is going to bring you to a download. And so that download is automatically going to be as a Microsoft Word doc. And so when you click it, it will open and you'll be able to type your answers. Now, when it's time to submit, I really would like for you to save as, and then go to this button right here, click upload, and that's going to bring you to your files where you can then choose the appropriate document to upload, click open, and that is going to allow for a submission. Now, if you are choosing, to do a Google Docs, then what I ask for you to do, instead of sharing it with me, I would like for you to put the link to the document on a Word doc and then upload it from there. And then that way I can still click on it and grade it, but it won't get buried in my emails because I do get several emails in a day, and I would really hate to not grade something simply because it got overlooked. So please make sure that you are submitting it so that I can grade you accurately and quickly as I can. A couple of other things about the toolbar are just you hit up these tools. This drop-down menu is kind of like a shortcut. So it gives you a direct access to any assignments, any discussion posts, announcements, anything like that is going to give you direct access. And that's something that's really great, and if you are if you know exactly where you need to go. So if you click on Class Home, that's going to bring you back to this front page. And that's really what I have for you. So If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I hope you found this video useful and helpful and that it's been able to ease any of your concerns or ease any of your stressors. So otherwise, that's all I have for you. And so I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you later.